This is the Scary Movie Clubcast.
Live from the clubhouse, this is Scary Movie Clubcast. This is Nadine.
And this is Amanda.
And tonight, as a very special guest, we have a super funny comedian, an awesome person, and horror buff, our friend Mike Engle.
Hello.
Yes. Oh, we are so excited. Tonight in the clubhouse, we watched It Follows. Happens to be Mike's favorite movie.
Woo.
Amanda's going to give us a quick summary.
Basically, it's like the worst STD you could think of. The second you hook up with something, it starts following you, and if it gets you, you're got.
Yeah. It did not look like a good way
Pretzeled.
to go either. Yeah, I know, yes.
Basically, you get pretzeled up.
And so Mike has our fun facts for tonight.
I do, okay. This trivia came from a resource that starts with an I. Let's go. No free plugs, no free plugs. Alright, here we go. So, the director, screenplay, everything, basically this guy, David Robert Mitchell, started writing the screenplay in 2011. And the film's concept derives from a reoccurring nightmare that the director used to have, in which he would be stalked by a predator that continually walked slowly towards him. So, did y'all have any reoccurring, nightmare stuff as kids?
I did.
Really? What was happening?
I was in a blue room that just
Okay.
got shrinking and getting smaller, and I had to get through this tiny door, but I could never get through it fast enough.
Oh my
I
gosh.
wonder why the room was blue.
It started out huge, too. The room was, like, super huge with a really tall ceiling, and it just...
Yeah, I feel like kids definitely have a big thing. For me, I was stranded, and it's just nothing but water surrounding me. Yeah, and so... And and in the water was, like, my stuff. It was bad.
Yeah.
There's probably some deeply seated stuff there.
Did you, swim much as a kid?
No, I mean, I knew how to swim and stuff, but it wasn't, I didn't seek out swimming, let's put it that way. I wasn't on the swim team or anything, but, know.
You weren't, crazy comfortable in the water or anything.
No. In fact, yeah, exactly. My dad liked to sail and stuff, so maybe... I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Just being stranded, definitely, that...
You're like, I don't want to say it's tied into daddy issues,
but it might be daddy issues. Daddy! No. No, I mean, even to this day, he still needs my help, He can do it by himself, but, if I'm there, have me hold a rope or tug a rope or two,
Fair enough.
So that I'm doing something.
Who knew? So you know all the sailing knots? And everything?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I know, the stern, the bow.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's about it.
boat parts.
Yeah.
Yes,
Port.
exactly. The ports. Okay. The monstrous It of the It Follows fame, it interchanged between it and entity, so that's kind of like what we're calling the monster in this. It's often said to be a metaphor for sexually transmitted diseases and sexual promiscuity. And when asked about the film's concept, the director, David Robert Mitchell, states that the basic idea of being followed that looked different from people and that was very slow, it came during the recurring nightmares, like he said. And then later he added the sexual aspect to it. So that definitely makes sense that, obviously as a kid, you don't really, it's more about just the constant being chased, which obviously came from, the movies that inspired it, which we will get to, obviously. But, yeah, classic, 80s slasher, it's coming to get you and it's not stopping.
Yeah. But it's not in a hurry either.
No, exactly. Very much not in a hurry. The time frame of the movie is intentionally kept undefined so that it resembles kind of like a dream. So, some of the cars are from recent times. Other things are from, the 60s all the way up to the 80s. CRT televisions. That weird, shell thing that was kind of like a cell phone.
Yeah, the e-reader.
Yeah.
I want it.
It also had, a flashlight on it at one point. Yeah, it's, doing all sorts of stuff, that clamshell thing. But, yeah, that's part of the ethos of the... It's such a good job world building in not a long amount of time whatsoever.
It's like an alternate dimension.
Yeah, and in that way, it is a little, timeless, And so...
I will say, I kept thinking the whole time we were watching, I was like, this could be Richmond. I was like, it feels very, home... to me, I was like, man, this could be, anyone's childhood. Maybe that's for 90s kids more, but, it felt very...
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, those could have been teenagers I knew.
And they... it's in here eventually, but basically they filmed in Detroit for tax reasons. I mean, hey, that leads me to my next one, which is basically the budget of it was $1.3 million. Yeah, exactly. It used Michigan's tax advantages to its fullest extent, and after a year of being out, it grossed over $20 million. Nice. So, like, you don't see that return on horror movies really unless they're like the in quotes like found footage, like a Paranormal Activity or something. Yeah, like that's huge. And I mean, this was like a whole thing. They had like all sorts of swivel cameras and fancy stuff going on. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, so, okay, here's another interesting fact, which I caught you guys noticing. Not only do the set props prevent the viewer from placing the year, the clothing also prevents you from placing like the time of year and like what's going on. Like, because as you pointed out, wasn't it like stockings on the beach or something? Yeah,
knee-high socks and like a tube-top swimsuit, and like one person's in the water, someone else has a jacket on. You're like, what is happening?
The only season that wasn't represented was winter, but like it could have been spring, summer, and fall for any of those other times.
I think so. Yeah. It also says here, like, basically all during the day, it's all outdoors, and there's no signs of discomfort at all. Yeah. Like, as far as like the weather, no one's like freezing or anything. So another added layer to the dream.
So I guess that water was probably like Michigan.
I think so. Yeah. David Robert Mitchell has cited the works of George A. Romero and John Carpenter as major influences in his style of film and creative decisions. So
may we all dream to
100%. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's two of the Mount Rushmore. And then I thought about this: who would be the other two horror directors in general? I would go Wes Craven.
Yes.
And then I would go for number 4, maybe a little controversial because he's just so new, Jordan Peele probably. For me. Okay. Yeah.
I do love him.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I know that's a tough question just to bust out of nowhere, but...
No, I think...
What would yours be, Amanda? Do you know?
Well, I don't... It's hard, because I really like Mike Flanagan stuff. Like, I honestly think he should really direct every Stephen King adaptation.
Gotcha, yeah.
Like, every time.
Yes,
He's so good at it. And then, I mean, James Wan, obviously.
Of course, there you go,
like, I don't... But it's so hard to, like,
narrow it down, it is. But, yes, I think squarely, at least those two, like, very influential and, like, you know, those getting at. But, yeah.
And I think Wes Craven, too, like, for sure. And so
Yeah, just...
Especially for our personal horror taste. Yeah, like, we love, like, some comedy.
Oh, yes, of course.
Throw it in.
You gotta have it in there. It was shot mainly with wide-angle lenses, as we saw, to give the film kind of a more expanding, like, intimidating feel. And, like, it really does well. It's, like, makes you just feel, like, unease and, like... The enemy took that one form and was a huge person and had to, like, bend down. It's just so uncomfortable. And, and in addition to just being, like, whoa, this is a crazy shot right now, Main lady, Jay, it's short for Jamie, which is obviously a tribute to Scream Queen.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, of course. we love. And then Jamie Lee Curtis in real life has a sister named Kelly, and that was the name, in the film.
That's good.
Yeah. So in the background of certain scenes, the entity's there just walking really slowly towards Jay and her friends, but like, you know, you really got to be paying attention in some scenes. Okay, so this is the tall guy. This is his stats.
Oh, gosh.
That guy was 7'7".
Stop it.
And he is 1/2 of the world's tallest twins.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 7'7". So that's the top. That's the
I wonder what length they were born at.
You got it. Yeah.
Like the poor mother.
Whoa.
And there's another baby.
Exactly.
Their poor little hearts must have to work so hard.
I know. Oh my goodness. Okay, this was also specified by the director David Robert Mitchell. He said that neither a condom nor, you know, same gender sex, any type of sex, doesn't matter, would stop the monster or the curse from being passed.
Oh,
it would have been nice if they had shown same gender sex.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just to like. Exactly, give
to be
more.
Like, nobody's safe.
Exactly, yes. That being said, there is a sequel happening. Yes, exactly. And of course, I will love to come back and talk some more. I wonder
when that one will come out.
It's filming now, so we'll see.
So a minute.
Exactly.
Season 7.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is called They Follow. That is confirmed. So I don't know how the rules will change, but clearly there's more.
Yeah, really. Up in
literally and figuratively. So, interesting to find out. Again, based off of stuff that he has said and like confirmed.
Apparently they procreate.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And the main actress did confirm that. You know,
that she's gonna be in it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, Micah Monroe.
She's a real scream queen.
Yes. Oh, yes.
She in?
Oh gosh.
Can't make a comment like that when you're.
No, I saw
A couple
another
other
movie.
things.
There's a couple of other movies. She's in Long Legs with
Nick Cage. The new one.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
And
The new one that just
I
came
literally
out.
was just talking to Nadine about this earlier. And so that's like a horror thriller kind of thing. And then she was in this other one. Ugh, I can't remember what it's called. Her and her boyfriend moved to like this foreign country, and then there's this guy watching her. What's like Watcher? It's like Watchers or something. I don't know.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, exactly. She's been in quite a few horror things since, again, like this came out 10 years ago. Crazy to think. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's just now getting a sequel, too. That really just solidifies this kind of like slid into people's of memorable horror things within the past, probably like 2010s, probably, I would say. I mean, it left a mark for sure. I would say definitely the weakest part of the film is the ending. So let's get into it. This is what the director had to say first. Because he explains it's the stupidest plan ever. It's more of a kid movie plan. It's something Scooby-Doo and the gang would think of, and that was sort of the point. Like, what would you do if you were confronted with a monster and you found yourself trapped within a nightmare? You'd have to do something in the physical world, just anything. And that's kind of like how it ends up. And what we witness, obviously, based on the end of the film, is a failure, doesn't actually kill. To kind of get to that third act, you would have needed a clue of some kind. Instead, it was just kind of the guy from Atypical looking at an old photo and being like, the pool! And, and hence this Scooby-Doo-esque plan kind of came to be. But
He said, I don't have time for them to think of a plan. I'm using all that time to show you pictures of the street with music over it.
Exactly. Yes. During the climactic showdown at the abandoned pool, when Jay and her friends are facing off the entity.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
I know that pool was very well taken care of.
Exactly.
There was still water in it. It was clean.
Yes, but they snuck in at an abandoned time. That's
Okay.
It could have been the wrong time of year. I don't know. But anyway, Kelly kept asking Jay, like, what's it look like? What's it look like? And very clearly, it's kind of inferred that it's taking the form of the father. And Jay doesn't say anything because she doesn't want to upset her sister, obviously. But, like, that's just how fucked up the entity is. Like, it gets in your psychological craw and, like, the Oedipus of it all with the one guy and his mom. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like once you're off a continent, you're fine, right? But he did also specify it could, in theory, follow you on a plane.
Yeah, it could.
So there's that as well.
And that would be a terrible place to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get pretzeled in front of everybody at that point. Like, there's no.
And then it's gonna be like, I guess I have to wait for this plane to land down another plane to go back to the other person.
Or you just have some sort of, like, find someone on the plane, like, just look around and someone be like, someone give me their vape, and then run in the bathroom and just start vaping. Or smoking a cigarette, or something to make everyone panic and like, whoa, what's going on, without saying bomb. Because they're not going to help you at that point, but like, something to make them stop / you gotta get off that plane.
I will say, to me, as soon as it was like throwing the electrical things at her when she was in the water, to me that's when it became clear that like this is like a thinking, rational, like it can figure things out. So I don't think you'd be safe on another continent.
No.
Like I'm sure you'd have more time
Yeah,
because you're further away.
They have to. The entity has to figure out, how to book tickets.
Well,
You know.
no one else
It
can
can't
see
be
it.
seen. Yeah, it just
marks
walks on
on
there.
And then they're just standing there in the aisle like, I guess I just wait.
Yeah.
It goes through the thing, and they see it, and they're like, what?
I just like the idea of it's on Expedia.com.
Looking at the flags.
It's like, peak season.
Oh my god. Then William Shatner.
William
with the price. With the price line negotiator. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That will forever be in my head. Price line negotiator.
Alright.
We love it.
So good. So let's start off reviewing it. Let's talk about what our favorite scares were.
Okay. I mean, I'm a suck. Anything gets me. Literally, the kickball against the window.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah, it was
Those
a good jump
creepy
scare.
kids.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they were. Yeah, exactly. Like, they were just genuinely creepy real life humans, but yeah, they're little kids, so again, they just have that weird. I mean,
yeah, but they just need someone to explain to them that peeping's wrong.
100%. Yes, 100%. But
in the land of absentee parents, not happening.
It's
True.
almost like as if that's almost another dreamlike quality. Except for, I mean, her mother was there sometimes, and there was that one parent in the beginning. But other than that, I mean, the parents are very rarely there.
Yeah, 100%, and that again leads to the sense of like danger of like they're just kids not only trying to like figure out the world, they have to figure out this weird curse that's been put on their friend, and it's all of their problem now because they all know about it and it's happening whether they like it or not. So it's very, very unrelenting and like obviously, a metaphor for like impending death and it's coming for us all. And, all those like really, really great stuff. Again, like that is very Halloween. That is very like Dawn of the Dead type stuff where it's just like it will not stop.
Yes.
And that's the fun of it. It definitely like it takes you for a ride in 1 hour and 40 minutes. I mean, it is very, very fast.
So was the kickball like the top tier scream for you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you say it was
I was just being like, well, again, like, I mean, I was telling Nadine before that it was college really before I got super, super into horror for sure. Like, I was very late to the game. I was a scaredy cat as a kid. Weirdly, I did video games. Like, I would do Resident Evil and stuff. And in that way, I, like, felt in control, I guess. As opposed to, like, movies where I'm like, okay, this was designed to give me nightmares, and it will. So it wasn't until, like, college that I, like, saw the classic ones and then just, binged it all. I graduated in 2012. It was a little bit afterwards that this came out, and this was, like, one of the first ones where I was, like, it was a new one that I was excited about and, like, kicked it into the, like, I think era we're in now where, like, people, like, talk about elevated horror and, like, Ari Aster and all that stuff. So, I mean, that was just my journey with horror, basically. But what was the question again, Nadine?
What was, like, the scariest moment?
Oh, the scariest moment in the film. Anytime the entity's on screen, to be honest. It's just very, very, very much like from it being ordinary people to it being like the huge 7-7 guy. Like, anytime it is on screen, it is.
That's
scary.
what I was gonna say though, is like that makes me think like which of those entities, like personally
as
for you.
As a small short king, I think I think the super tall guy, that would be very scary. I would just feel like I'm going to be crushed by a baby, like a baby by this giant, and just like he could easily just squish me.
Yes.
So I think that's, for me, the scariest. What was yours?
The urinating one.
The urinating one? Yeah, that was scary too.
Yeah, that's not my scariest moment, but that, for me, if I had to pick which entity bothered me the most.
Yeah. And then, it did seem like she was pissing, but it also just seemed like she had come out of some waterlogged area. Like, she, emerged from the sink or something. Like, I don't know. It was definitely, it was just unnerving, that's for sure.
Yeah,
or what? Sure. Like what if it? Yeah, it could have been all the above. Who knows?
That's true. Which entity for you, Amanda?
Yeah. I mean the tall guy, but also like the little kid crawling.
Little kid.
Oh, that was scary
Crawly,
too. Into like the little boathouse.
I hate crawling.
I hate crawling.
When we went to go see Us in theaters.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's very scary. Again, like I said, the Jordan Peele. Oh my gosh, good stuff.
So what was your biggest fear, Amanda?
I think it's like when the big guy comes through the door. She's like, everyone's coming into the room and it's like fine. And then like her friends are just like, what's the problem? And then the guy's just like behind her and he's like, with his arms like coming and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me it was when she was in the hospital room. I was just so stressed for her that like it was gonna come in. She didn't have anywhere to go. I know you can't open those windows. Like all your loved ones are sitting right there where they can get hurt trying to help you. I'd not enjoy that situation.
Exactly. And also back to the big guy thing though. Was it some sort of continuity I missed or something that like he emerged from behind them, and then it cuts to, like, her on the ground running to her bike or something, then biking away, and I'm like, to the swing, and I'm like, did she just jump down or something? And like, shouldn't she like be very hurt right now? Or
she climbed down like a drain pipe.
oh, like, that's what happened.
There
Okay,
was like a little balcony out there, and she went over the side, and they were still like trying to tell her like, where are you going? Stop!
I figured, okay, gotcha.
But she's like, gotta go.
It all happened. It was so kinetic that it
Yes.
was like, and that is one thing I'll say about it too. Yeah, it's just like if you don't like, you know, kind of the first person swinging around kind of stuff, it might not be for you. But it doesn't do. It's no. What's that one war movie that did it? 1917 or something like that. It was literally just like a one shot where it's just like. And also that movie, oh my gosh, the lion one, Beast or whatever, the Idris Elba. Oh my gosh. It was very, very silly, but it's just like,
the vibe I got from the
exactly,
I was like, okay.
Because I honestly, this one did not bother me in that sense, and I am kind of sensitive to like getting motion sick, and
gotcha.
it didn't trigger me.
Good. That's good. Awesome.
I feel like it's nice too because they had really set the stage to make them like the type of rebellious teenagers that would like very quickly know how to sneak out from their room, and so when she did that, I was like, yeah, I bet you know how to do this.
Exactly,
like
you're doing that for years.
Yeah, she's not like me who would have to really figure it out in the moment and be like, I'm used to using the front door.
I know, but yes, definitely a lot of sneaking around and stuff. But
so now laughs.
There was one part that I thought was funny, and I literally can't remember it at all.
Well, for one thing, you laughed at the girl getting shot. It was very hard.
Okay. Well, we all knew it was going to happen, and except for him, apparently. Like, he's shooting at literally nothing.
Did you laugh the first time the first time you saw it and she got shot? Because I do think it's different to laugh.
I saw it shortly after it came out, so this is the second time I've seen it.
Yeah. Either way, I just think it's different to laugh knowing that she was fine. To me, you were laughing when all I saw was her drop to the ground. She could have been dead for all I knew, and you were dying laughing.
wow.
I'm pretty sure I knew she lived.
Okay. Was that the laugh you were thinking of?
No, it was like something that was like actually, I think, meant to be funny.
I do know which one you're thinking of, but I'm gonna steal it for my own because I was already
rude.
But so I'm gonna let Mike go first, in case he steals it from me, and that would teach me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll let you go first, AD.
Okay, you know what? I can give you yours back because I do have another one that I can use. It was we both laughed when they were in the Froyo place, and the guy was like offering to help and like stay the night, and both of them were like,
no. Oh yes,
and she was like, she's like, oh, but maybe do sleep on the couch, and then she's like, you're gonna have to worry about him humping your leg in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was so good. The other part that to me was funny, which is not meant to be funny, but I just enjoyed it in my heart, is when she first sees it, and it's the old woman, and it's coming after her. I'm just like picturing this sweet old woman actress having the best day ever, sitting at craft services, getting paid who knows how much to just walk slowly towards this girl. I was like, what an easy, happy day.
I know, yeah. That is the beauty of it. I'm having difficulties coming up with laugh.
It's hard. It's not laugh heavy.
Yeah, it's not super laugh heavy. Yeah, I mean, it truly is just a terrifying scenario. I mean, yeah. Obviously, there's so much more to dive into with the guy who gave it to her. Obviously, like that's like because you just seeing like his old setup as far as like detecting the entity and stuff and like barricading himself in that weird house, like there's something there. Maybe that'll be explored in the sequel, we'll see, but I mean maybe there's more people doing weird stuff like that, and maybe he was involved in that. Who knows, but there's just a lot to dive in on that you know, that's just literally like not even 2 to 3 minutes of the movie. And like there's a lot of lore going on that I like in this one. This one could just stand alone and be its own thing. Like, wow, that sure is like mysterious. Like, what the fuck was even that? So but we'll see. Yeah.
You know what else was funny though was when they go into the abandoned house and they find his Playboys and just so many tissues.
Yeah,
so many.
Oh
my gosh! And the other guy just casually just moves them and starts looking at the magazines.
I know, as if they just weren't riddled with semen.
Riddled was seeming to be the title of the episode.
With a question mark, too. For the Riddler.
Oh my gosh. Okay, least favorite parts is next.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said on record, it's for me the end, because it truly just does not make any sense. And even his explanation of it, he doesn't have a good excuse. He just kind of says, well, we wanted to be different than other movies. Well, or like stories. Setting up the third act, I get that it's hard, but like, you could have come up with something. It's just kind of like, yeah, really, really haphazardly thrown together. But everything leading up to is all great world building stuff, and yeah, I eat that stuff up. I love it.
I will say the one thing that I did like about the ending, though, was I did love that when it came in, it just instantly ruined their I loved that, like, they had worked so hard on setting it up. You thought it was such a good idea, and just bam. Like, that was fun.
Yes.
That one guy that she sleeps with, the first one, not believing her. Like, he's like, oh, sure, I'll do it, because he just wants to hook up with her because she's pretty. And then he's like, yeah, I haven't seen anything. I'm like, were you even looking? Because how did you not notice? Like, people just, like, a random person just walking towards you.
I know, because it had been days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been, like, tricked into going somewhere super far, had it? I feel like it hadn't.
I think he was just living his life normal.
Yeah, and he probably was seeing it and just literally lying. I mean, yeah. I mean, how else do you do that when, again, it's moving at a walking pace, even if the walking pace is, like, a giant, it's still gonna get to you, you know, it'll get to you. So it's kind of like, yeah, clearly that guy was lying, and I caught up to him, obviously.
Yeah.
But
you hear someone say, don't open the door, so of course you immediately open the door.
You know, the oldest trope in the book.
I wasn't sure if in that moment if it did look like his mother or not, because didn't he say mom before he opened the door?
I assume the only person who he knew was in the house at the time was the mom, I guess.
Yeah. So I think he was just assuming, but I don't know if it looked
but he
like
didn't
his
act
mom.
like super surprised when he saw her.
I mean, he was saying it was doing the same old thing with the bra, where like one breast was out. It was shocking. Everyone was, no one was like, oh, seems normal.
Exactly, yeah.
I think.
Also, though, he had like no time to react. I mean, it jumped on him so quick.
So she leaped.
Oh, wow.
Another thing I just thought I didn't like is like, so the first guy, he like takes her and he's like, it's gonna come for you. It's gonna try to blend in. It could be someone random. It could be someone you know. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
First thing it does is show up as naked people. Like, I'm like, that's not really blending in, my guy. That's standing out.
But I gotta say, I mean, maybe it does that because it's killing them with sex anyway, and so it wants to be ready.
It's like,
That's true, yeah, maybe.
Gonna
Does
bang you to
it
death.
have to take its clothes off if it gets to you when it's dressed?
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. These are things we all know.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I really liked it. I would say that probably for me, there were just a few too many of the, like, showing the road with the music over. It was just, it was, I liked a lot of them, but it was just a little too much. Like, I feel like if I put all those together, it would be like 10 minutes of just
probably,
that.
yeah. It's definitely, beginning of the Shining worship. Like, and like, after you do it with one scene, we get it.
Exactly, yeah.
Just do it once. Although sometimes, I mean, like, and if it looks really cool, like, sure, keep it in, but truncate it. Like, yeah, that huge row of trees with the car coming down, and like that looked amazing. We could probably do it with like 10 less seconds.
Yeah, they must have spent a bunch of money on that music too, because there was a lot of music.
Yeah. I think the guy.
That's one of the things I really like about the movie is the music, and I love a good synth.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we
And
love
it's
it.
very synthy, and I love every second of it.
That's the John Carpenter influence for sure, and he got this guy Disaster Piece, and he's just he's done music for like video games apparently and stuff. All that tracks make sense.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the music.
Interesting. So now we do our favorite parts. A little yin and yang.
Okay. The spiel at the beginning, well, he doesn't have a good reason for it, obviously, but his whole, like, speech and, like, explaining the rules of how the entity work at the very beginning, it's so disorienting, and, like, showcasing that this is a real, physical thing, that it will kill you, like, that section is really intense. That particularly like stands out.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
What about you, Nadine?
Okay, here's a question that I have.
Yeah.
The picture that's in the porno thing, but like the picture of the guy and a girl, is that
Yes.
the girl from the very beginning who dies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
mhm,
figured.
yeah.
So
That
in my
is a
mind,
good-
I'm like, I wonder if he cheated on her. That's kind of what I get the vibe. I get the vibe that like that was his girlfriend. He loved her, but then he cheated on her. He brought this thing back. Didn't even realize he gave it to her
Until
until she did.
Right. Maybe that's how deep of a piece of shit he is. I mean, but I guess him living with the guilt, is that why he just kind of like became celibate and shut in that house? I don't know. Who's to say? Yeah, that's a whole aspect that. Dang, I mean, yeah, I know there's got to be like a deeper understanding of that dude, but like, yeah, him being with the initial girl from the opening scene that died. Yeah, that is
Because I
Yeah.
will say, at least he did try to explain it to her. Like, obviously, he's the worst.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
it's
Yeah.
like, you
I
know,
mean, the only
We're-
reason to explain it to her is so he can live longer.
Oh, which he made clear, too.
Like, if
Yeah,
you die, it's coming back to me.
When
Exactly.
he said that, I was like, you can't possibly think that she cares about your safety in this
Yeah.
moment.
100%. Yeah, he was a total piece of shit. He's just like, yeah, very, very selfish. Like, here it is. This is what it is. And yeah, you deal with it now, basically. Yeah.
I think my favorite part is, like, the dream world building. Like, I do really love that it's, like...
Mysterious.
Timeless,
Yeah, that you
yeah.
don't
Pin it
know.
down.
Yeah, you don't know what time it is. You don't know what season it is. And it layers so, like, subtly.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
The thing I like about it is that it's a thinker movie for me. Like, it's like one of those
Mm-hmm.
ones where you watch and you're just like thinking about like, what if this happened to me? Like, what would be my actions? Like, what would I do? Like, how terrifying that would be. It's just like you keep thinking about it after you've watched it.
Oh yeah, those are the best movies for me. I will say, like, in recent years, as far as series go, for me, I love the Purge movie. I hate it. I mean, I'm a basic bitch when it comes to that. I love it. Yeah, the Purge movies are so great, and they definitely, more so than this one. I feel like, well, this one has, again, there's just a lot of, undertones, underlying meanings of things that, like, you can really just, like, sink your teeth into. And, like, again, like, the what would I do in this scenario? The putting yourself in the shoes of the protagonist. And, like, I love movies like that.
I will say the idea of sleeping with a sex worker is interesting only in the sense that, like, they're going to give it away. Like, you
Yeah.
don't really have to worry too much about
That's
them
why-
having to be the one to suffer with it.
Yeah, that's why, like, near the end, when a typical guy was, like, driving slow past them, it was kind of like, he was considering it, but it's just kind of like, again, they think it's completely dead,
One, I
So-
think he's like a sweetie pie, too.
He would not,
He's like,
exactly.
yeah, I
so
feel
he
like
would
he
not,
doesn't
yeah,
want-
exactly. Like, it obviously, like, it crossed his mind for a second, that's why he, like, looked over there, but then,
Yeah.
again, and he would only do that, like, just to make sure, which, again, is fucked up, like, to even, like,
Yeah.
have that pass through your mind, just to be like, okay, maybe I could just, like, to make sure it's gone, do this, and, like, that's not moral at all, but yeah, exactly.
But then it's also like, I mean, what is the moral thing to do? Because if it kills you, it's just going to go on this path anyway.
100%, and that,
Kill
yeah.
whoever knows how many down the line.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So taking, like, assuming that there is no moral choice I can make,
Yeah.
let's assume that.
Okay,
Then what I would personally do is I would give it away, but
Yes.
I would follow that person, see who they gave it away to, and I would do this for 10 people on until I knew the 10 out, and then I would have Google alerts so that if any
Wow.
obituaries
Okay.
came out,
Yeah.
I
Oh
was-
my god! Yeah,
aware.
specifically for obituaries. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Hey, that truly is the only way to plan a situation out like this. I mean, again, with the They Follow coming out, we don't know what the plot is or anything like that, but I assume, like, it would be interesting to get into the logistics of how many people are you planning ahead at a certain time, or is it just still, like, a 1-to-1 ratio,
Yeah.
or, like...
Because, I mean, you don't know if it's going to be like, is it just the next person you sleep with, or is it every person you sleep with
There's
after
gonna
that
need to be
gets it?
charts. Yeah, like,
Yeah, you don't know. Could
Oh,
it
because
be...
if it's they instead of
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does it branch off
Mhm.
because you've had sex with multiple people at this point because you thought you were safe and it was
That's
only
true.
you thought it was only going to one person, but it's
It's
gone
really
to everyone
going
you've been with.
Exactly, yeah. It could be where basically it's like, okay,
Like
everyone...
a real sexual disease.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
I will say, to me personally, I didn't think of it as like an STD vibe. To me, it felt more like the emotions that go along with sex and how you can't get rid of them. And sometimes you might like regret having shared that intimacy with someone who betrayed you, but like it doesn't stop the fact that like that happened. You know, like to me, that's how it felt. I felt like it weighed a lot more heavily on like the feelings behind it.
Yeah, the burden. Yeah, exactly. And the grief that comes with it too, where it's like, again, if it's, she even says it, it's like she had feelings for a typical dude, but just thought that that guy would be okay, when in reality, she didn't know him that well. I mean, she did know about Lady from the Intro, you know? It's kind of like, yeah, I mean...
I feel like it's not impossible, too, that it's just because he woke up first.
Yeah! Hey, sometimes it is like that, too. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Inconveniently waking up at the wrong time. Yeah.
They locked eyes and we all knew.
Exactly, yes. Instantaneously. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so...
It's gonna be fun though when They Follow Us come out and we have you back on, because there's a theater that we like that's like pretty close to here. It's like 10 minutes
I'm
and
excited.
they do food there, which is nice.
Okay,
So we'll have
nice.
dinner and then we'll watch in theaters and then we'll come back here and record.
I'm ready. Oh my god.
Okay, so the last thing that we kind of like rate or talk about is plot quality.
Okay, the quality. Okay.
Solid, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, especially for like a first thing. Are you kidding?
Oh
like,
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. You
Yeah.
can tell it was like thought out.
100%. That being said, I don't think he's been super busy directing anything else. You know, but it's like, you know, this was his breakout and got his name on the map as far as horror goes. And I mean, yeah.
I really want to see if there are any deleted scenes, because like for me the one that I like imagine that there must be that I want to see is when she ran off by herself and then she sees the people in the water and then she like strips down and gets and I'm like, what happened?
Did she
Right,
sleep
yeah.
with one of them? Or
Yeah,
to give
that's
herself a
kind
little
of
more
what I
time?
thought. In my mind I was like, gross, because there's like three of
There's
them
three
on
of them.
there, and so
You
I'm like,
sleep with-
where did the other two go? Like, you're on a boat.
Did she sleep with all of them?
But then in my mind I was like, well, maybe that, or maybe she like wanted to see if it could find her in the water, and then if it did, then she like
I feel like
had
it
them
was
take
that
her.
one. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like she was kind of waiting out.
I mean, yeah, because
see.
her friend's like, her friend like makes a reference to like how many people she's been with, and like that, like she doesn't say, well, I slept with 3 people on this boat or one person on this boat.
Yeah, I would think one. Why would she
mean-
sleep with 3? What would that do for her?
I mean, if it
She
goes
was
on
letting
to
people
all
just
run
to make
train on her on the boat, man.
Just to make sure. Let's really get rid of this.
let's really
thing.
spread it, you know?
Well, I think once you, I don't think, you know, it's up to that person then.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that
Yeah.
you can be like, I'm going to triple down.
But we don't know.
Oh, man.
That's
Mike,
true.
you're so sweet, though. You have such a, like, optimistic, you, like, see the sunny side, because...
I'm trying, yeah.
Because I literally, even right towards the beginning when, is his name Paul? The, like, sweet guy?
I think so. Yeah.
When Paul was, like, sitting on the couch and then she went and sat next to him and their feet, like, almost touched, I was like, oh, no, she's gonna, like, give it to him just to test. And I
yeah.
think bad. I'm like, I assume the worst. I'm like,
I
everyone's
know,
horrible.
yeah, exactly, yeah. It ended up still being sweet.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, she
Which
didn't
is
want
good.
to.
Exactly. And as far exactly. And as far as she's concerned and he's concerned, at the end of the movie, everything's all gravy. So
But then you see someone walking behind them and you're
yes.
There
Dun,
is-
dun, dun.
There is something weird, too, about the idea of her, like, being with both those guys after, like she sleeps with Greg and then they were holding hands and I guess they're a couple, and same thing with Paul. And in my mind I'm like, do you actually want to be with both these guys, or do you feel like
You need to be
obligated
someone,
in
yeah.
some like
Yeah.
weird...
I mean, only because they've gone through such crazy shit.
That is true. The trauma bond is real, I'm sure.
exactly,
And
exactly.
at least with Paul, she was always friends with him.
That's
before.
true. Oh, yeah.
Very true.
Mhm, yes.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, who wants to rank it first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think I'll give it 4 out of 5 clamshell e-readers.
Yes.
Nice.
A very respectable ranking.
Yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm.
I'm gonna say the same. I feel a very solid 4 out of 5.
Absolutely.
Definitely enjoyed it. Would for sure rewatch and recommend. So 4 e-reader clamshells. I love the
Gotcha.
color of it too.
I know, it's so cute.
All right, and for me, it's a 4.5. I mean,
Really? It's not a 5 out of
Oh no, no,
5?
no, no, no! It's one of my favorite like modern horror movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I should have specified a little more. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So
yeah.
which is the favorite?
Oh,
What
of
would
all
be a
time?
5 out of 5
What
for
would be
you?
a 5 out of 5 for me?
Just so we can.
I was just so excited when y'all did the original Nightmare on Elm Street, because honestly, that's kind
so
of it is
good.
so good. But also so exactly. We're talking laughs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
when he like cuts him open and he's the little green bugs. I love that he's made of snot and bugs. I love that.
It's so fun and over the top.
And Wes Craven, Nightmare on Elm Street, introducing Johnny Depp. Who, again, unfortunate. Unfortunate, it introduced him, and then his actions made us say goodbye to him.
So, Mike, if anyone wants to, like, find more of your comedy and stuff, where should they find you?
10,000%. So, on all platforms, I am at Engletron, ENGLETR0N. And here in beautiful Richmond, Virginia, every first Saturday of the month at Star Hill Beer Hall, I have my show, Game of Jokes. And if you want to follow that, that's at gameofjokes.rva on beautiful Instagram. And I got my comedy album. It came out 4 years ago. I'm coming out on my decade.
That's awesome.
In comedy, yeah.
It's so
a long
good.
time. I'm very tired.
Fair. It is tiring.
It is. It can be. But yes. That being said, my comedy album, Personal Pizza, it's everywhere. Spotify. And if you want to buy it for $5, there's Bandcamp. But if you don't have that, just stream it on the internet, wherever you listen to stuff. And again, thanks so much for having me. I had a blast. And obviously I would love to come back for They Follow.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You brought us cookies. You're welcome back.
You brought an appropriate offering.
Exactly, yes.
And you had good, solid fun facts.
You've
done good.
Thank you.
It was a test to see if you were going to bring up the sequel.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
Was like, I figured that out on my own.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right, you guys, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Scary Movie Clubcast, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. See you guys next movie night, and don't forget, there are 35 days till Halloween.
Bye.
I need this.
You took away his crunchy.
I did.
It was
just
the
because
right
we're
call.
about to pod. Just because we're about to pod.
Yeah, no, you did the right thing.
Okay. Yeah, at that point, is it like, is it a, yeah, I don't even know how to, quantity versus, do you even say quality question mark? As far as length, yeah.
Oh, man.
Length, girth, like, yeah, how do you measure these babies? Oh my gosh. But anyway, at least there's only two of them. I guess that's what I was trying to get at with quantity, or yeah, but like, yeah, would you rather have more normal size baby or like, you know,
it'd be fun to have identical twins,
I think yes, exactly, yeah, you could play so many practical jokes on everyone. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, one thing that you reminded me of when you said the name of your album is one time Mike was on the show Femmes the Rules, where it is female comics interrupting male comics, and my friend Amber, who you know, was interrupting him, and she had brought a Little Caesars pizza, and just whenever she was in the mood during his set, she'd be like, you have to eat a slice of pizza, and while he was and like while he was eating, the whole crowd was chanting, pizza wrap, pizza wrap.
And Monty said, this was the best description of it, Monty said, this is that scene in Matilda with the chocolate cake.
Oh, yeah.
It's like so much of a good thing, but like, yeah, it was a lot. And then on another Femmes the Rules, there was a whole elaborate plot involving the Black Eyed Peas. But Catherine Michael gave me a card where pepperonis fell out, and it was supposed to be from the Black Eyed Peas, and it said, Mike, you're next, so I guess I'm gonna get murdered by the Black Eyed Peas.
I'll have to set up my Google alert for your obituary.
Exactly, yeah, set it up for the obituary of Mike Engle.
Oh my gosh.